My brother-in-law stood in the doorway of my $435,000 mansion and said, "This is my house now. Get out." He thought I'd leave quietly. He was wrong. Welcome to another mind-blowing revenge story. Drop a like and tell us where you are watching from, and don't forget to subscribe. Anne's fingers traced the embossed deed one last time before sliding it into the gift box. Cream-colored paper. Blue ribbon. Simple. Like everything about her. Her Seattle apartment reflected a decade of sacrifice. IKEA efficiency, no photographs, a laptop that never closed. At 28, she was VP of engineering at a fintech startup. 80-hour weeks. No relationships. No hobbies. Just code, coffee, and a singular purpose. The video call connected. Her mother's face filled the screen. 72 years etched in worry lines and didn't remember from last year. "Sweetheart, you don't have to come. It's a long drive." "Mom, it's your 50th anniversary." "I know, but Claire's planning something and with the kids. I'll be there Friday. I promise." Her father's voice drifted from off-screen. "Let the girl work, Susan. She's important now." The call ended, and stared at the black screen, seeing her reflection. When had she become the girl who was too important for family? She remembered the conversation that sparked this gift. 20 years ago, Dad pointing to a travel magazine. "Someday, Susan. A house by the ocean. Watching sunsets." Mom laughing. "With what money, dreamer?" And made $340,000 last year. She'd saved every spare dollar. No vacations. No new car. Just this. $435,000 for a 4-bedroom seaside mansion in Cannon Beach. Ocean view. Wheelchair accessible. Close to medical facilities. Her phone buzzed. Margaret, the neighbor she'd hired to check on the property before the surprise. "Did your parents move in early?" Attached, a photo of the driveway. A white SUV and didn't recognize. Children's bikes scattered on the porch. A welcome home banner. Anne's coffee mug paused halfway to her lips. She zoomed in. The SUV had a bumper sticker. "Real estate changes lives, Derek Morrison." Derek. Her brother-in-law. She dialed Margaret. "Who's in the house?" "A family. Woman, husband, 3 kids. They said they were the new owners." "I assumed." And hung up. Opened her laptop. Pulled up the deed registry. Owner of record. Claire Morrison. Transfer date. 6 days ago. Her signature at the bottom. Accept and never signed anything. The mug slipped from her hand. Coffee spread across white carpet like a bloodstain. The 8-hour drive blurred into highway lines and rage. Anne's knuckles were white on the steering wheel. She'd called her lawyer. Left voicemails. Texted the title company. No responses. It was 11 p.m. She arrived at 2:37 a.m. The mansion glowed under security lights she'd had installed. Her mansion. Every shingle, every window, every blade of coastal grass. Paid for with years she'd never get back. Claire's SUV sat in the circular driveway. A child's drawing taped to the front window. Our new house in crayon. And sat in darkness until sunrise. At 7 a.m. the front door opened. Derek emerged in a bathrobe, yawning, retrieving the newspaper from the porch. He was barefoot. Comfortable. Home. And got out of her car. Derek froze. "And? What are you? Where are my parents?" "Inside." "Look, this isn't a good time." And pushed past him. The entryway she'd imagined filled with her parents' belongings held Claire's family photos. Children's shoes by the door. Derek's golf clubs. MOM. Her mother appeared from the kitchen, dish towel in trembling hands. Her face, God, her face. Hollowed. Terrified. "Annie. Honey. You shouldn't have come." "Shouldn't have," Anne's voice cracked. "Where's Dad?" "The downstairs bedroom." "We thought." "The stairs are hard for him now." Claire descended the staircase in silk pajamas Anne's parents could never afford. "Annie. You're early. We wanted to surprise you." "Surprise me? You stole my house." "Stole?" Claire's laugh was practiced, light. "Don't be dramatic. Mom and Dad signed everything over. They can't maintain a place this big. We're helping." And pulled out her phone, hands shaking. "I bought this house. I have every receipt. Every wire transfer. Every." Derek stepped between them. 6'2", Former college linebacker. The deed says Claire. That's legal. That's binding. If you've got a problem, take it up with the lawyer. Oh, I will. Good. He crossed his arms. But right now, this is my house. You're trespassing. So either sit down and have breakfast like family, or get out. And looked past him to her mother. Did you know? Did you know what they were doing? Her mother's sob answered everything, and found her father in a room that should have been his library. Instead, it held unpacked boxes labeled Claire's craft supplies. He sat on the edge of a bare mattress staring at nothing. Dad. He looked up. Aged 20 years overnight. Ladybug. I'm sorry. The childhood nickname broke something in her chest. What did they tell you? That you wanted us all together. That you were too busy to explain. That Claire would handle the details. His hands shook. I didn't understand until the papers were signed. And then? Then what? Claire said if we made trouble, we'd lose you both. And knelt before him. Dad, look at me. I bought you this house. Just you and Mom. No one else. I know. A tear tracked down his weathered face. I know that now. Derek's voice boomed from upstairs. And, you've got 5 minutes before I call the cops. And stood. Kissed her father's forehead. I'm going to fix this. How? I don't know yet. But I keep receipts. She walked out past Claire, who was explaining to her children why Anton was confused. Past Derek, who held the door open with false courtesy. In her car and didn't cry. She opened her laptop and created a folder. Evidence. Her phone rang. The lawyer finally. And I reviewed everything you sent. If what you're saying is true. It's true. Then we file for emergency injunction Monday morning. But I have to warn you. Family law gets messy. Are you prepared for? Yes. She wasn't. But she would be. Should she burn it all down or find another way? Drop of blood. The motel room smelled like bleach and old cigarettes. And spread documents across the stained bedspread like a general planning war. Purchase agreement. Wire transfer confirmations. Email chains with the title company. Her notarized signature on the original deed. Photographs of the forged transfer document. She'd stopped sleeping. 48 hours fueled by gas station coffee and cold fury. Her laptop screen glowed. Oregon Revised Statutes Chapter 165. Forgery and related offenses. Forgery in the first degree. Class C felony. 2 to 5 years. Elder abuse. Additional penalties. Fraud. Civil damages treble. Ann's therapist had once said she intellectualized emotions to avoid vulnerability. Good. Vulnerability was what got her parents trapped in a bedroom smaller than the shed. A memory surfaced, uninvited. Age 10. Claire borrowing $500 from their parents' emergency fund. The car needs repairs, Mom. The car never got fixed. Claire wore new designer jeans to school. And told their father. He sat her down, voice gentle. Your sister is struggling. She needs our grace. But she lied. Family forgives. And learned then. Truth mattered less than keeping peace. Her truth, anyway. Claire's lies were struggles. At 16, MIT acceptance letter in hand, Claire suggested and stay local. We need you here. Dad's hours got cut. I can't work full-time with the baby. Guilt wrapped around Ann's throat until she couldn't breathe. She went anyway. Took every loan, every scholarship, every work-study shift. Graduated with honors and $90,000 in debt. Her parents didn't attend graduation. Claire had a crisis that weekend. There was always a crisis. And pulled up her bank records. The pattern was obvious now. 3 years ago. $8,000 loan to Claire. Never repaid. 2 years ago. $12,000 emergency for Derek's business opportunity. Business never materialized. Last year, $15,000 for Claire's kids' private school. They deserve opportunities, Anne. You got yours. And had given $76,000 total. Not including birthday gifts. Not including the laptop she bought Claire that got stolen. Not including bail money when Derek got a DUI. She'd been an ATM with a pulse. Her phone buzzed. Claire. Annie, can we talk like adults? Mom's crying. You're tearing this family apart. and stared at the message. Typed, "You forged my signature and stole $500,000. We'll talk in court." Delete. Retype, "Tell Mom I love her. Tell Derek to enjoy the house while it lasts." Delete. Finally read. She opened a new document. Operation Restoration Phase 1. Timeline Reconstruction. Witness List. Document Chain of Custody. Every person who touched that fraudulent deed. But documents weren't enough. She needed leverage. And pulled up Derek's real estate license. Active, but she dug deeper. 3 complaints filed in the last year. 1 pending investigation for misrepresenting property values. Claire's social media showed recent posts. So blessed by family generosity. Our dream home. Photos of the mansion. Her children on the beach. Derek grilling on the deck and had custom built. Comments flooded. "You deserve it. Finally some good luck. Your parents must be so proud." And screenshot everything. She created a private Instagram account. Followed every commenter. Friend Claire's neighbors, book club, PDA members. Revenge wasn't an explosion. It was erosion. Her laptop pinged. The lawyer. Emergency hearing scheduled Monday 9 a.m. Judge Richardson presiding. Bring everything. And allowed herself 1 moment 5 seconds to feel the weight. Her parents trapped. Her childhood home sold to fund Claire's lifestyle. A decade of sacrifice stolen. Then she closed the laptop. Outside, rain hammered the motel parking lot. And watched water pool under broken streetlights. She'd spent her life making herself smaller so Claire could shine. Being the easy child so her parents had energy for Claire's chaos. Not anymore. Her phone buzzed. Her father, Ladybug. "Claire took our car keys. Says it's for our safety. Can you?" And was in her car before the message finished loading. The quiet ones aren't weak. They're just waiting. Drop of blood. And arrived at the mansion at midnight. Not to confront, to document. She'd hired a private investigator that afternoon. Former cop, specialized in fraud cases. He'd installed cameras across the street, hidden in a fake utility box. Every coming and going. Every visitor. Every moment. "You want surveillance?" he'd asked. "I want everything." Now she sat in her car 3 houses down, laptop open, watching the live feed. Derek's study light glowed. Through the window. Him at her father's antique desk, feet up, laptop open. She zoomed in with the PI's telephoto lens. He was on a real estate forum posting. Just closed on a 4BR oceanfront. Market's hot. Thinking of flipping in 6 months. Thoughts? And screenshot it. Added it to the folder labeled Intent to defraud. The lawyer had been clear. "We need to prove they never intended this as a family home. That it was theft with purpose." Derek was handing her the case. Monday morning, and attended the emergency hearing in a gray suit she bought specifically to look unthreatening. Claire arrived in tears, Derek in a cheap blazer, playing humble family man. Judge Richardson was 60, sharp-eyed, no patience for theatrics. Anne's lawyer presented purchase documents, wire transfers, handwriting analysis of the forged signature, testimony from the title company rep who'd been confused by Claire's claim to be Anne's representative. Claire's lawyer fumbled. "Your Honor, this is a family dispute. My client believed. Your client forged a signature on a property transfer worth $435,000. Richardson's voice could cut glass. "Belief is irrelevant." Derek leaned forward. "We were helping elderly parents who couldn't. Mr. Morrison, you'll speak when addressed." The judge reviewed documents in silence. 5 minutes felt like 5 hours. Finally, emergency injunction granted. Morrison family has 72 hours to vacate. Ms. Chun, your parents are restored as legal occupants pending full hearing. Claire's sob echoed through the courtroom. And felt nothing. This wasn't victory. This was step 1. Outside, Derek grabbed Anne's arm. "You're going to regret this." And smiled. "No. You are." She handed him an envelope. Inside, screenshots of his forum posts, copies filed with the state real estate board. His face went ash. 72 hours, Derek. Start packing. Justice isn't loud. It's paperwork. Drop of blood. And helped her parents move back into the master bedroom. Her mother wouldn't stop apologizing. Her father couldn't meet her eyes. We should have known better, Mom whispered, folding clothes with shaking hands. You trusted family. That's not a character flaw. But Anne felt the distance. Something had shifted. They'd chosen silence over protecting her gift. They'd let Claire's manipulation happen. That night, unable to sleep in the house that felt contaminated, Anne drove to her parents' old apartment, the one they'd rented for 40 years before this. The landlord was boxing up their remaining belongings. You're the daughter? The one who bought them the fancy house. That's me. Shame what your sister did. He handed Anne a cardboard box. Found this in the closet. Think your mom wanted it gone. Inside letters. Dozens of them. Anne's handwriting. Every birthday card she'd sent. Every Christmas note. Every thinking of you message from college, from her first job, from every milestone Claire wasn't around for. Kept. Preserved. Loved. Beneath them, a newspaper clipping. Anne's promotion announcement. Her mother had circled Anne's photo, written in the margin, "My brilliant girl." Anne's throat tightened. But at the bottom of the box, an envelope addressed to Claire. Opened. Inside, a letter from their mother, dated 3 months ago. Claire, I know you're struggling, but we can't keep giving you money. We have nothing left. Anne has been so generous, but she doesn't know how much we've borrowed against the house for your emergencies. We're in over our heads. Please don't ask again. Anne's hands trembled. They'd been in debt. Claire had been draining them for years. The mansion wasn't just a gift, it was a rescue. And Claire had stolen even that. A handwritten note at the bottom, different ink, recent. Mom, this mansion solves everything. Derek says we can refinance it, pay your debts, everyone wins. You just need to trust me one more time. And understood now. This wasn't spontaneous theft. Claire had been planning this for months. The betrayal went deeper than Anne imagined. Some debts can't be refinanced. Drop of blood. The coffee shop near the courthouse smelled like burnt espresso and old pastries. And sat alone, reviewing documents for the full hearing next week, when someone slid into the booth across from her. Sarah Mitchell. Mid-40s, kind eyes, tired smile. You're in Chun. Anne's guard went up. Who's asking? I'm a social worker. Elder advocacy. Your parents' case was flagged in our system. She pushed a business card across the table. I've seen this pattern before. Adult children financially exploiting aging parents. You're doing the right thing. I'm just getting back what's mine. It's more than that. Sarah pulled out a folder. Your sister filed for guardianship of your parents 2 weeks ago. Did you know? Anne's blood went cold. What? Claimed they're mentally incompetent. Unable to manage finances. If it had gone through, she'd control everything: medical decisions, assets, housing. That's insane. They're sharp. I know. I interviewed them yesterday. That's why I'm here. Sarah leaned forward. Claire's lawyer withdrew the petition after your injunction. But she'll try again. People like your sister don't stop. And felt the walls closing in. What do I do? Document everything. Get your parents' mental competency formally evaluated. Establish durable power of attorney with you as agent. Sarah hesitated. And consider. They might need space from Claire. Permanently. You mean restraining order? I mean boundaries backed by legal teeth. And had spent her life avoiding conflict, being the easy daughter. Now a stranger was telling her to build walls against her own sister. Sarah stood to leave, then paused. Your parents told me something. They said Claire always needed saving, but you never asked for help. They thought that meant you didn't need them. She met Anne's eyes. Sometimes the strongest people are just the most neglected. The words hit like a physical blow. Sarah left her card and stared at it until her coffee went cold. She wasn't just fighting for a house anymore. Strength isn't silence. It's finally speaking. Drop of blood. The full hearing was in 3 days. And had everything. Documents, witnesses, expert testimony. Victory was certain. Then her mother called. Annie, can we talk? Just us. They met at the beach, wind whipping gray hair across her mother's face. She looked smaller than Anne remembered. Fragile. I need you to drop the charges against Claire. Anne's world tilted. What? The criminal charges. The fraud investigation. I know she was wrong, but she's still my daughter. Prison would destroy her. Those children. Mom, she stole from you. From me. She tried to declare you incompetent. I know. Her mother's voice broke. But I'm asking you. Please. For me. And stared at the woman she'd sacrificed everything for. You're choosing her. Again. I'm not choosing. You are. The words tasted like ash. Every time you excuse her, you choose her. Every time you ask me to be the bigger person, you choose her. Her mother reached for Anne's hand and pulled away. I gave you a house. I gave you peace. And you want me to let her walk away? She's sick, Annie. She needs help, not punishment. I needed help. Anne's voice shattered. At 18, drowning in college applications with no guidance. At 25, working 90-hour weeks wondering if anyone noticed. At 28, realizing my own parents helped my sister steal from me. We didn't know. You knew enough to hide it. Her mother sobbed. Please. I'm begging you. And looked at the ocean. The house on the cliff behind them. The life she built from nothing while Claire took everything. I'll drop the criminal charges, Anne said quietly. On one condition. You see a therapist. Both of you. And you tell Claire you're done enabling her. Her mother hesitated too long. And walked away. Some betrayals come from enemies. The deepest ones come from the people you saved. Love without boundaries is just permission to bleed. Drop of blood. The courtroom was nearly empty. Just Anne, her lawyer Claire, Derek, and the judge. Anne's parents sat in the back row. Together but not touching. Judge Richardson reviewed the final documents. Ms. Morrison, you've agreed to surrender all claims to the property, pay restitution of $47,000 for damages and legal fees, and accept a restraining order prohibiting contact with your parents without their written consent? Claire's voice was barely audible. Yes, Your Honor. And you understand that if Ms. Chun pursues criminal charges, you face up to 5 years imprisonment for forgery and elder abuse? Yes. The judge looked at Anne. Ms. Chun. This was it. The moment she'd built toward. One word and Claire would face consequences for once in her life. And stood. I'm dropping the criminal charges. Her lawyer's head snapped toward her. Claire gasped. Derek exhaled. But, and continued, voice steady, I want it stated for the record why. The judge nodded. My parents asked me to show mercy. They're terrified of losing their daughter, even after everything she's done. And looked directly at Claire. I'm doing this for them. Not for you. You don't deserve mercy. You deserve everything that's coming. Claire's face crumpled. You taught me something, Claire. Family isn't about blood. It's about who shows up. Who honors their word. Who loves without taking. Anne's voice didn't waver. You were my sister. But you chose greed over family. And that's something you'll have to live with. The judge signed the order. Case closed. Ms. Morrison, you have 24 hours to remove your belongings from the property. Outside, Claire tried to approach. Annie. And held up her hand. We're done. Don't contact me. Don't contact them without permission. If you truly love your kids, get help. She walked past, carrying nothing but clarity. Revenge wasn't destruction. It was freedom. Sometimes the best revenge is becoming unreachable. Drop of blood. And stood on the mansion's deck, coffee in hand, watching dawn paint the ocean gold. The house felt different now. Lighter. Her parents had settled in. Her father's library was finally complete. First editions lining shelves, his reading chair positioned by the window. Her mother's garden bloomed with roses she'd planted herself. But Anne didn't visit as often as she'd planned. The distance wasn't anger. It was self-preservation. Her mother had called twice asking if Claire could just visit for an hour. And said no. The restraining order stood. Her father sent emails, short, factual updates about his health, the weather, a book he'd read. Never apologies. Never acknowledgement. And had learned. Some people can't give what they don't have. Sarah, the social worker, had become an unexpected friend. They met monthly for coffee. You did the impossible, Sarah told her. You saved them and saved yourself. Doesn't feel like winning. Because you wanted them to choose you. But you already won. You chose yourself. The words settled like truth. Anne's company had promoted her to CTO. She'd started dating someone. A kind architect who asked about her day and meant it. She joined a support group for adult children of dysfunctional families. She was building a life that didn't require her to shrink. Last week a letter arrived. Claire's handwriting. And almost threw it away. Instead she opened it. Annie, I'm in therapy. Court mandated, but I'm actually going. I'm learning words like enmeshment and narcissistic supply. I'm learning I hurt people. I hurt you. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I'm trying to understand why I became this person. Maybe one day I can be someone you'd want to know. See? And folded the letter. Filed it away. Maybe one day. Maybe never. Either way she'd be okay. Her phone buzzed. Her father, Ladybug. Your mother made pot roast. Sunsets at 7:30. No pressure. And smiled. Texted back. I'll think about it. She would. But on her terms now. The ocean stretched endlessly before her. And had bought this house to give her parents peace. Instead, she'd given herself something more valuable. Permission to stop carrying people who refused to walk. She sipped her coffee. The sun climbed higher. For the first time in 28 years and felt light. Not because she'd destroyed Claire. Because she'd finally built boundaries strong enough to hold her own life. Revenge wasn't making them suffer. It was refusing to suffer anymore.